Hello everybody. Today we're going to be going over a brief tutorial of the Roadmaster track by Oak Hill. In the kit, you receive our tie plate strips, and what we're going to be looking for on here is on the part number we have the letter M, which is going to say for medium. This is what we're going to be working on right now. Then we also comes in the kit is our actual laser cut ties. Now you get it in two ways. I've had it in this form and I've had it in the form without the side pieces, so it doesn't really matter on that. I'll make sure we have our Pliabond. That's how we're going to adhere everything together, along with our solder paste. You're going to want a pair of flush cuts, a Sharpie, a pair of tweezers. I like to have some painter's tape, which I'll go over, as well as needing some aluminum foil strips, which I made myself. Now I'll go over all this. You're also going to need a soldering iron setup that not only has a soldering iron, but also has a rework option as well. You're all familiar typically with a standard soldering iron, just because the tip is extremely wide, which makes this so much easier. But also then we have is the rework station, which we'll go over. One other tool you're going to want to make sure you have is a hammer. This is about an 8-ounce ball peen hammer. You don't have to have this exact tool, but something about this size or even a little smaller. One thing also to take into account is your workstation. I have done this on top of cardboard and it does not work. When you do it on top of cardboard, you wind up causing damage to the ties when you put in place, which I'll show you, are these pegs, metal pegs that you have to hammer in, which we'll go over. When our project is done, we're looking for a finished product that's going to look pretty much like this, with our wood ties, our tie plate strip, and our rails all being secured to our track work. Now I mentioned about the metal pegs. One of the issues you'll have if you're not careful and you don't use a proper surface to do it on is you can split your ties or even bust off pieces of the tie. Now this is still very usable. There's nothing wrong with this. Nothing is going to be seen. So this is still a usable, viable piece of track. Now on this piece, it's very simple to remove these from the frame. It's just a simple bend it, start snapping off the pieces, and there we go. Make sure we don't take anything with it. There we go. I'm sure somebody can find something creative to do with that for scenery. Let's do this other piece. There you go, number 2. And here is our piece of ties. Now, you'll notice on one end of the ties, you'll see a triangle, which is this is the side where our power is going to hook up to. Correction, the plus sign. And then you're going to see the triangle, which is right here, which is set for all the fish plate positions if you're going to be using fish plates, if you're working in that era. And then we have M here, which is our size we're working with, which is medium. Same with our tie plate strips. Next, what we have are our tie plate strips. Right here. Company name is right here, which is Oak Hill. And our size here on the part number, which is an M. Now this is a little bit more involved. This is where you're going to need your flush cuts to trim this out. on this side, the pieces here, the ends are thicker. This is the size that's going to go for our power connection. So make sure you cut that right. There we go. Nope, missed one. Oh, missed another one. Now here's our piece. Now I'm going to remove these from each other, and then what I will do is I will take a piece of tape to length. I'll create a section like this, rolled over on the edges, so that when I am done with this, I would adhere face down my tie plate strips upside down so I can apply the ply bond. I'll show you that once we're done. Now when we're done, everything's been removed and adhered to a piece of tape like this. This is what you wind up with. Nice, easy area to work on. So, just to show you how this works, is I'm going to take my ply bond with the tip that was provided, and we will run a bead down each of these pieces of tie plates. One thing to know when you're applying the ply bond is it does have an aroma. Please make sure you're in a ventilated area. Then I'm going to do the rest of these and I'll show you the end result. Now that I've applied ply bond to all 4 of my tie plate strips, I'm going to place this somewhere out of the way for it to dry until I'm ready for it. This will take hours to dry. Usually I will do a prep the day before. That way, by the time I'm ready, everything's dried. Now for this next section, we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're going to be applying it to our rails. Now for this part, I always like using my pair of tweezers. So I'll grip the rail with them. Now I'll just run a bead of ply bond from one end to the other. Now before you do this, one thing I found that helps in the later process is take your ties, lay it down. Now figure out, even up the 2 ends. So you have about the same amount overlapping on either end. Once you get that figured out, take your Sharpie and put a tick mark right near the end between the first and second tie, and then just mark the bottom like that. Same on the other end. This will tell you where to stop with your ply bond. You'll do this to all 4 of your rails. Now that all the rails have been marked, I'll take the ply bond and run a bead from one end to the other, starting at one mark and stopping at the last mark. Now, if you want going past your mark, once it dries, you can scrape that bit off with a razor blade. Now, I'm going to take this and do exactly what I did before with my tie plates and put this facing just like this on a piece of tape. Now, I'm going to do the rest of these rails right here and we'll come back. Now, just to show you, once I have completed a set of rails, usually about 4, this is how I have it set up. Rails are upside down, and all the ply bond is at the top so it can dry in place. Now here is where we start our hammering. We put our wood tie down and we grab our pegs. We'll start with putting it in this hole here. You're not trying to go all the way through, you're just trying to set it in place. It's all you need to hold your peg in place. And we're not going to do a lot of these. I find that if I do every single one, it's not as productive. So I'll put 2 or 3 at the one end, and I'll put 1 down here at the very end. Just like that. And this is where I'm going to start. So we're going to take this, make sure we have our ply bond facing down, and put our first set on just like that. And I'm going to run this out to the end and put our other peg on. Just like that. And there we go. We started our process. Now I'm going to start putting in more pegs to hold everything in place. Line up my holes and drive her in. Now right now you can use for reference is the other side where you actually have holes that are visible that you can see. Now you may find a different pattern that works better for you on how to do this, but for me this works the best. It's easiest, I'm not fighting with my materials. Here we go. Pegs are in place. We have our strip in place. Now we're going to need our tweezers, and we're going to need our soldering iron right here. Now, use our tweezers to help hold our work area in place. Hold for about 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do one more right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right there, this whole section is already secured in place. Now, you may find that your work is going to bow slightly, but it's not a problem because once you put the rail on it, it will go flat. Now I'm going to continue going all the way down this piece, and then I will show you the end result. So once you've completed soldering down your first section, you'll see scorch mark stuff is fine, it's expected. You'll see that there is a slight curve to my track work. But once I put down the rail at the end, we're not going to have that problem. My next section I'll work on is this side with another piece of our tie strips. And at the end, on this end, I'm going to show you a trick because of where this hole's placed on the last piece, how to get this nice and flat and still in line. Okay? All right. Now again, on just like the first section, the second section, doing the same thing. Putting the 2 pins in at the front, and I'm putting the 1 pin at the back. I'll then put the tie plate strip on the first section. Just like that. Sometimes your pin wants to fall out, just give a little tap. And then just to secure some places, the pins are wanting to move. I'm going to start right here. Have a nice steady grip on that. Bring in my tweezers, make sure I'm holding this in place so I'm not getting burned. Now it's almost like a tack weld. It's going to hold everything in place and get the rest of the pins in. If you saw what I did there, it was slightly off, so I just basically pinched the tie plate strip with the ties itself, and it just lined everything up. Now what I'll do is I can remove these, they're not necessary, but I will hammer in the rest of these pegs, go down the strip, and then when I get to the end, I'm going to show you the little trick at this end. Now, I'm at the end. I'm going to show you this little trick I've learned on this end down here. Now I'm going to do this right next to my last pin. I'm going to grab the tie and the tie strip just like that, basically pinching them together, keeping them in line. And then I'm going to do the same thing I just did down there. I'm pinching the two together to keep them in line and pushing down with the soldering iron. Holding for my roughly 5 seconds. Now one thing to note is the play button does melt very quickly, I've found. Now, check our work, and there we go. Nice and flat all the way across. Now, the next section we're going to do is our rails. Now, for our rails, here is our piece we're working on, and we have 2 rails, both with ply bond underneath already. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our solder paste. Now I've already put too much pressure on this and kinked it, but just work that out just a little bit on our points where we marked earlier with our Sharpie. Do the other side. Just a little bit and we're good. Right there. Now, apply this to our track. Now also what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in a moment, I'm going to start getting my reworkstation ready. And line it up right in between our tie plates. Pretty much like the real thing. It holds everything in place. Now this is where you definitely want to use your tweezers because this does conduct the heat so well. And that nice tip right there is perfect for this. It literally glides right on the center of the rail, on the side. And yes, most likely during this process you're going to partially, if not completely, melt that solder. Now on this, it is good to have a 1, 2, 3 block if you know what that is, or you can use that hammer of yours, just hold that down. Make sure everything solidifies, and our rail is trying to secure to our tie plate strips. Move down maybe about 4 or 5 ties at a time. Now if you don't know what a 1, 2, 3 block is, it's a metal block that is a dimensions of 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch. And that would work great on this. Work that a little bit. And I'll just give it a little wiggle, make sure we're secure, which we are. I'm going to do this all the way down to the end. Now that we have our first rail attached, as you can see right here, our track sits a lot more flat than it did when we first started. Now, we'll go to the rework, which is what we're going to do with our solder. Now for that, we use these aluminum foil strips that I made. Turn on our unit, which has to warm up now. If I line them up right, what I get is a nice spot I can take my tweezers, pinch, and hold this in place, just like that. Now this is going to prevent the hot air from scorching, or ideally prevent it from scorching our ties. Now we're all warmed up. Be careful, this does get very hot. Don't need that long. Just enough to make sure that our solder as set. Now we have our electrical connection. Now we'll do the other end, same thing. We'll set up our aluminum foil strips. Pinch that just like that. Holds everything in place. Run my fingers on it just to make sure we're good. I'll put a little pressure with something like this, the hammer, just to make sure we're good. And there we go. Our solder is set on this side and our solder is set on this side. Now I'm going to do the second rail here and we'll show you what the final product looks like. Now just to recap what we're going to do here, just like the other side, we have our mark and we're going to take our solder paste. I have a little too much on that, but that's alright. Rather too much than too little. Solder paste on that side, and then we're going to do the same on this side. Go. Only need that little bit. And line this up again, just like on the first one. Like that. Lined up. Okay, now let's start again like we did before. With our tweezers, make sure we're lined up. Okay. And we're gonna do this about every like 2 or 3 ties. If you do too much of a section too quickly, it won't secure in place the way you want it to. First one always seems to be the most important. There we go. We have started. We're secure on this side, and we're going to go all the way down to the other end. All right, I just completed the other side, so here we are. Now, take our aluminum foil again, set up to make sure the solder is set on this side. Our count of 10 usually seems to do it. Any more, you're really going to start worrying about scorching, even with the aluminum foil being on there. Now, to the other side, and then this piece will be complete. And there we go. We have the completed track to add to all the rest of them. There we go. And this just adds to the rest of our track that we've already completed. All uniform and all the same, all perfectly detailed. It just looks so good with these tie plates on here. They literally just line up perfectly with each tie. That's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.